Welcome back to American Nostalgia Garage. I'm Steve, and I don't know if you can see it, but what better time to peel back the tarp and get working on the 55 Chevy truck. It's been a while since we've worked on this thing, and the last time we did, we threw this 6-liter LS engine into our truck. We did motor mounts, trans mount, and some little odds and ends just to get this thing in. And what better day than today to continue with this? So strategically, when there's a lot of this stuff on the ground, you think, I have to have steering, and I have to have brakes on a car that I'm not going to drive for probably quite some time. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, just a quick overview of what we're even working on here. This is my 55 Chevy Task Force truck. It's basically a Tri-5 truck, and we have already swapped in a LS 6-liter, a full Heights Mustang 2 front end with a power rack out of a Fox body Mustang. It's got coil over front suspension, it's got coil over rear suspension, it's got disc brake, front and rear, and it's got basically everything else needs to be done. Today we are going to finish out our steering, including a steering shaft and some joints, and get our steering column installed. We're going to add some rear brakes, and we're also going to add a pedal to the inside of the car so that we have a way to actuate the intake manifold that doesn't exist. Like I said, strategically, we're doing things that have to be done right now, like a throttle cable and pedal. Very important. A steering column for a car that we're not going to drive yet. And some brakes for a car that won't move, probably for some amount of months. If you pay real close attention, you might understand, now isn't exactly the best time to throw a coat of paint on one of these things, Projects like this are the kind of things that you finally go to throw the key in the ignition and start this thing and drive away and have a good time, and you realize, well, wait a second. If I could ever get this out. Wait a second. I don't have a steering wheel. I'm not going to grab the brake pedal, but I don't have brakes. I can't do anything with this. I have these swimming goggles, so, we're safe there, because we don't have one of these, or these, or any of that. But, now is the time to do the mechanical stuff so that when the weather warms up, we can throw a coat of paint on this thing and then maybe drive it. I am getting the hint of maybe one of my cats using this truck as a bathroom. We do have a steering shaft. Just probably broke one of the coils with this. A brand new Speedway steering column that I can't move at all. There's that. And then we have some rear brakes and a throttle pedal that's got to go in. So I should probably start doing something now. Alright, Ryan is over here destroying the brand new parts that I bought. But here's where we're going to start with today's video. This is our steering column. It is a bare steel column shift. It's 32 inches long, which is about what this truck is supposed to have. I think it's 30 to 32. Here is our lower mount, the stock one. As you can see, it has an extra hole in it here. This is where the old shifter, rod used to go. We're not going to use that, but we are going to use this as a template to make another one. There is 2 feet of steering shaft in there. Ryan is holding a column drop bracket. This goes basically right underneath the dashboard. The lower edge will be held in place with that, and then we'll have all the parts. This comes with a shift indicator in that box, some of the extra stuff, but I was able to basically save about half price by buying a universal 32-inch steering column rather than buying the $800 correct steering column for this truck. All right, so where we're starting is I want to try to retain our stock steering wheel. It's huge, it's a bus steering wheel, but I am kind of like the Simpsons lady the bus driver. So I want to retain this. The first thing we're noticing is that there's some stuff that's got to probably come off on the back of the steering wheel here. It looks like maybe some sort of stock turn signal cancel. Ryan actually pointed out, so that's probably right. We're trying to get our canceling cams, these two little Mickey Mouse ears, for our horn contact to be in the right spot, which needs to be in between these two springs here. So these ears need to land right in this spot in here. So in order to do that, they say it's like the 10:30 position on a clock. And I'll demonstrate, basically, if you're making a right-hand turn, you hear that click, that's us passing over the cam. But now, like when the steering wheel, we're gonna return back to center, it pushes up against that cam, or that spring, and actually pushes the turn signal back into place. That's how it cancels it. So the main thing is we need to get it in that vicinity, the 10:30 position. And then we come now over to our wheel, and the hole that's drilled for the horn contact originally on this is up here. We need to have it sort of more like down here. So we're gonna actually have to take this wheel over into the garage and drill a, let's call it a little bit more than 5/16, maybe not 3/8 size hole, like in this vicinity. All right, well, we only have one steering wheel original to the car, and what better way to make sure that you don't destroy this than to just start drilling without measuring or marking anything. Basically, we need to get our hole that's here to be over here in this area somewhere. So I am going to wing it. So far I can say this is probably not where it's supposed to be. Just lost the drill bit. Okay, not even close. All right, we are all out of light, but not bad for an entire, well, I guess it's just a couple hours. Not even a couple hours, but we run out of light quickly here in Northeast in the winter. So anyway, we got steering wheel on. It seems to be self-canceling. We are going to have to mess with it a little bit, but this is what we got. And I guess when we get back to work on this thing, we can maybe put it in there. All right, so it's raining. Can't really work outside for very long without getting soaked. And actually, I'm trying to get back inside so I can spend some time with my little guy and my wife. But I do want to get one thing done today, and I'm going to make a template of our lower steering column mount. It's going to go down there, cover that hole, and it's going to give us a spot to go through this top mount and all the way through the floor and mount the lower portion of the steering column to the floor. So they do sell these mounts. They're expensive, and I want to have it right now. So I'm going to make it right now. So as it turns out, this is going to be kind of an easy one, just because it's working like one of those drawing tables you used to have as a kid, where it lights up in the back. I can see the sunlight coming through the opening, so I'm just going to trace that out. I'll add, like, say, a 1/2 inch of a flange all the way around, and then I'll find out where our bolt holes are going to be. There's one over here, and I think there's one down here. And then that'll be that. We'll transfer it to metal, and we'll be good. Now, normally I would have liked to have made this with tape, so I don't have to juggle around. I could have just laid the tape on the truck, and then I could have used, used a dirty finger method or a marker or whatever, and make my mark. But I reached my limit of how long I'm willing to look for something before I just decide I don't have it and moving on. And I couldn't find a roll of masking tape, which is crazy, because I know within the confines of this garage, there's probably a case in total of masking tape, like the blue painter's tape, and I can't find any of it, so. All right, we're back today, and I have a team of qualified gentlemen. Where? Distinguished gentlemen. And where we finished off yesterday, I was making the panel to cover up this hole that's down here from the inside. And the reason I stopped and didn't drill the hole for the column is because I actually wanted Ryan here to help me decide, like, where up and down that hole should be drilled, because it's going to affect basically where this comes out. If we drill the hole at the very top of that patch panel, it'll be here, or we could push this all the way down and then have it come out down there. And I kind of wanted a second set of hands to figure out where we wanted that to happen. Obviously, when we do that, that changes all of this. when you move it. This is a tilt column, so we can kind of band-aid. If I had to mount it like this, we could kind of band-aid it. But really, I'm trying to balance out where that wheel is going to end up versus where this column is going to come out and possibly interfere with the headers. This car is not going to get standard headers. It's going to get headers that go out towards the front. You can probably guess why. If you don't understand why, I'm going to put some stuff that spins right here and over there. And so we probably won't have an interference back there, but for at least for now, because that's not going to happen immediately, I want to be able to avoid like a regular standard like manifold. All right, so I think we have the depth correct. I actually think I'm going to bring the wheel up like maybe 3/4 of an inch, something not significant, but might give us just a little bit extra, you know, bring the steering wheel out to us a little bit. The other thing is I have to get the clocking of the steering column itself. Yeah, this turns, but you got to get the clocking of the actual column itself correct. And just, I don't know if you can call it a trick, but just a tip in order to, if you don't know exactly where the center of the column is, you can do this if you have tilt. Just tilt the steering wheel back and forth. You want the tilt to go true up and down, not like kind of sideways. So I'm kind of just eyeballing. I found the center, I marked it right there. And now I'm going to take that center and I'm going to rotate that to our vertical position here. I should probably move this thing of fuel, right?
We've come this far, might as well.
Obviously I'll just move that.
Yeah,
to on the floor,
definitely don't
where
move
everything
that.
else is.
All right, well, Steve is inside, finish welding our bracket. I'm going to start to remove the factory gas pedal from this truck, and we're going to replace it with a low-car style, like billet aluminum pedal and a throttle cable rather than the linkage that this truck came with from the factory, just so we can adapt it to our LS throttle body a little bit easier. So there we go. So this is that stud that I was talking about. I'll put the cotter pin back through, so if Steve decides to use this, whether it's for another car to fix his kid's play set because he doesn't throw anything away. He's editing this, he's probably going to be cursing my name. But we'll put it off to the side. Now I don't know if the bracket that is on the floorboard is spot welded or bolted. It appears that it is spot welded.
Ryan is working on getting our old gas pedal out so we can install a new gas pedal, because, you know, this truck is definitely going somewhere anytime soon and it needs a gas pedal. Also, don't look at all the runs on there, but that's our finished plate with a coat of, I guess you can call it paint, but it looks like I wiped my boogers on it. All right, steering column is in. Ryan got our rack tightened up to the Heights front end, and we need to make the connection from there to down there. Ryan already put one of our U-joints on. We're going to get a length for the steering shaft, make sure that it's phased correctly, and then we can cut, and we'll be done with steering. So what I'm doing with the joints here is I'm making sure I got full engagement. You can see the steering shaft is right there. I'm making it flush there so that I know I have full engagement here, but it's not going to interfere with this part of the joint at all. I don't know if you could look real close in there. See, the backside is kind of touching. I don't want the shaft itself to interfere, so I'm going to make it flush. All right, so I'm going to get like a ballpark here. I'm going to cut it extra long just to be sure. All right, well, we got our preliminary cut. Basically what we're going to end up with is we're trying to just dial it back just to get real close. But good news is we have plenty of room back here behind our engine mounts. We probably will have a little bit of an issue getting exhaust out back here, because I do want to have the exhaust go out the back of the truck, but that's a problem for another day. For now, I'm going to cut this back a little bit more, probably cut another inch off or so and just sneak up on it. Now, we were gonna put in a aftermarket, like universal throttle pedal, and unfortunately, we found the one part of this truck that needs a patch. Well, there's a handful, very small handful, honestly, but this is one part, and really, honestly, it's really not that badly rusted. We destroyed it with the seam splitter, trying to get all the spot welds out, so really that's our fault, but got to put a patch in there before we put a throttle pedal on, so that's going to be saved for another time. This is fun. Not bad. That feels good, actually. Well, it feels good to steer the truck with a steering wheel once again, and to be honest, it feels really good. This truck is going to retain the power steering, does have a power Fox body rack. Ryan just made a good observation at these giant tires in the front. Although it's not going to stay like this, these giant tires would be pretty difficult to steer without power steering. We have manual power steering, and by that I mean it's manual steering. You have to put the power in with a 97-inch steering wheel, but we're upgrading here. All right, now to go with the whole topic of doing things that don't need to be done right now. Taking our massive wheels off to put rear brakes on this thing. You have to have rear brakes because this truck is fully on the road. We already have disc brake brackets here. We're just going to throw some rotors with some calipers and pads on it. That way it's one less thing to do later. And hopefully later soon, because I want to drive this thing. All right, so one thing we noticed just now as we were trying to put everything on, the rotor kind of floats. It's not really sitting against that our axle flange here. And I didn't even realize it, honestly, until I went to go put the caliper on. And the ears of the caliper right here are right where these the caliper bracket itself is. And I think that has to do with the fact that this rotor is too far out. So I attribute our problem, I think, to the fact that the stud itself is 1/2 inch. These holes are not quite big enough to get over like the shoulder of the studs. So if we open up these holes a little bit, we should be able to get the rotor all the way on, and then maybe we can get the caliper on. All right, I opened up the holes on the rotor quite a bit. These are standard GM calipers, which is nice because if I need them, I can go to a regular auto parts store and get them. All right, I am just gonna throw our wheel back on and we can let this thing down. All right, that's the brakes on. Both sides. Steering shaft installed. Steering column installed. Well, that's one of those videos where you get a lot done, but not really or something. Like, there's not really a lot to look at, but a lot of stuff happened. And it does feel good. It's a one step closer to being a driving car. We have a lot of work to do on it. But at least now, when we move it around the property, we can steer it. We have brakes that when we plumb them up, we can stop it. And we do have to put a gas pedal in it. We'll get to that eventually. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping one of those. Drop a like below. Subscribe to the channel so you can see more of this thing, because it's not going anywhere. This is the kind of thing you chop me up and you bury me in it, because it's not going anywhere. This is a forever truck. We got the snow melting around us, but tomorrow apparently we're getting hit with another foot of snow. So just as soon as we're getting rid of it, we're getting more. That being said, I cannot thank Ryan enough. I think it goes without saying, he knows how appreciative I am when he comes out and helps me on my stuff. He's always here also, so I mean, I probably should be charging him rent, actually, now that I think about it. But he does have a YouTube channel. I've mentioned it before, I mentioned it again. Automotive Chaos. Please go over there and check that out. There's more on this truck and all my other garbage. Plus, he's got his own garbage. Check his channel out. It's Automotive Chaos on YouTube. And as always, thank you guys for watching. American Nostalgia Garage, out.